Hey again, it's me. Another video, another day. Whew. I got lost in some woods. I ended up at a golf course. Look at that. Been here before, not this one, but in this situation. It's cool. So I figured it's a good time, an opportunity to talk about something that a lot of people refuse to learn. It doesn't matter from who it is, if it's Gary Vaynerchuk, other self-help gurus, your parents, friends, or even books yourselves. A lot of places teach this to us, and it's hard to understand it because we don't want to understand it. I found that almost everything in life is hard to do when you don't want to do it. Yeah, there are some things objectively hard too, but like when people commit themselves, the difficulty is far outmatched by the desire to overcome it. So in this case, I think a point that I want people to understand is to let yourself get lost. Let yourself follow a path that you didn't carve out for yourself from time to time. Some people like to do this and they say they go all in, they're a free spirit, and wherever the wind takes them, that's where they'll end up. And then they're surprised why they haven't reached their goal or their destination when they realize it halfway through. But they're mid-flight, the wind's carrying you somewhere out there. You don't know, man. You gotta have some wings at least. But at the same time, there are people who want to be on railroad tracks. It's a defined path. They're on it. They're comfortable on it. But they also sometimes get bored and they realize, man, I want to be up there. I wish I was actually exploring those sights that I'm seeing from this railroad track. But I'm so committed to this one, I just don't know how to get off. And it's an issue, but it doesn't have to be. Because we forget that we can step off. We can come down, we can redo things, but you don't want to do this too late, obviously, depending on what you have in mind. I mean, maybe rethinking your career choices and rebooting everything in your 50s isn't an effective solution. But at the same time, if you're like in your 30s still, like I am, and you feel like it's too late, let me tell you something. I have those thoughts every day of my life. Should have done this, should have done that. Ooh, now that I know this, I could have been so much more efficient. Hindsight's 20/20. The youth is wasted on the young. You know, I enjoyed the shit out of my youth. I had an amazing childhood, amazing university years. I was careless and I got away with it. But I didn't just, do nothing. I took every opportunity to learn. And I took every opportunity, no, I shouldn't say that. That's wrong. See, my mind is starting to fall in love with itself. But I wasn't scared to take chances on some things. Although on a lot of instances I should have. But hey, better late than never. And it's an important skill to allow yourself to get lost, to allow yourself to be wrong. That's what a lot of successful people tell us, man. Like, you just gotta learn how to fail. And what I'm saying is just another interpretation. Maybe it's a less scary sounding thing, maybe more idea that like you have to get off the path from time to time and just use your mind, don't just blindly follow anything. You can fall off a ditch, but use your mind to navigate you in a new environment. You're gonna learn, you're gonna grow like this. Your mind's gonna be interested. You're not gonna feel like you're stuck in a rat race or anything like that. But it's uncomfortable to do in the beginning, and your mind is like, why do I need to do this? This is inefficient. I'm already on a path. I already have a few things figured out. I don't need to figure out any more things. That's exactly where you're wrong. You have a whole lifetime ahead of you. Why don't you freaking, I don't know, why don't you want to do something else? So are you all of a sudden done at like 5, 6 o'clock? You clock out and now let's see, what the fuck can I order on Uber? Is that the extent of your life? It's not. It shouldn't be. It's very easy for it to turn into that. Then you're going to look back and you're going to say, fuck. Oh man, like I knew I should have done this. I knew I should have done that. And then, you know, regret and all that can eat away at you at night. But don't make this into a dramatic little expose. I'm not. Really, I'm not. It's a simple bike ride. I ventured into some paths that were twigs and like other nasty little overgrowth, and I was like, dang, it's not very comfortable. That's exactly what you want. You don't want to just take another predetermined little side road. Go somewhere and see what's out there. I like where I ended up right now, to be honest. There's a beautiful path ahead of me. Look. I don't know what's there, but I'm going to take it. I think it's going to be nice. But I'll confess that this is a skill I wish I learned earlier. I let my mind get away with too many comfort zones. Oh, I'm smarter than this. I don't need to do that. Oh, I know better than this. This is not for me. This is not who I am. This is not my personality. This is not my goal. Or on the flip side, sometimes it's like, no, I'm just a free spirit. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm still young. I still got time. And these are the moments where you need to learn, you need to develop a skill where you're going to say, hold on a second. Right now, when I'm resisting the most, that's when something real is about to happen. That's when something serious is going down and my mind is avoiding extra work. It wants to protect me, it wants to protect itself, and it wants to preserve energy. People who colonized US, not US, I should say the Americas, they had no fucking GPS to know where the hell they were going on some wooden boats. On the one hand, there wasn't much to go back to. They had shitty lives. But on the other hand, there was this promise that they could start something better and they could get lost in something of their own making. I think that's a better way to look at it. Don't just get lost thinking you've achieved something. You can be banging your fist on a rock. You're never really gonna get stronger or become a better fighter. You have to do something, things a little bit smartly, especially these days. So I would say, allow yourself to get lost and take the time that it requires to find your way out. Sometimes it's quick and sometimes it's short, and sometimes it's long and sometimes it's very long. You will learn not only patience, but you will learn the sense of timing and the sense of direction, where you're at. I can also tell you how many times I've backed out of things way too early. Sometimes right before I was gonna get somewhere. Right before the success kind of came and it just whizzed past me when I bailed out. And then you read quotes from great people, from people who achieved something, and they say stuff like this, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I lived through this. Like, I mean, it's nice to know that they're right and you were kind of on a similar track, but they were right and you were wrong. You need to learn from these mistakes. So I'm trying to do that, and I hope you're gonna take as many times retries as it takes. Just need to succeed once, really. All you need is a nice big piece, but it can take a bunch of tries. So why not? What do you have to lose? That's a tricky question. It's a tricky question because you'll say, oh, I have my whole life to lose. I'm going to lose who I am. I'm going to lose my sense of personality. I'm going to lose what made me me. My God. So what? If you are sitting at home, you're driving, you look in the mirror, and you are not happy with where you are in the big picture, not at the moment, obviously, don't make those short-sighted decisions where you just broke up with a girlfriend and now you fucking think everything was a mistake. No. Not when you're sick and you think, oh my God, you shouldn't have had that burrito. No, don't make decisions like that. But when you look at yourself sometimes and you feel this real sense of dread where you're like, this is not gonna go where I want it to end. Like, this is not the path I want to be. What do you have to lose? That's yourself is what you have to lose. And you better get lost. Get lost and get reborn again. I don't want to get into the whole like biblical stuff here. Not for any religious purposes, but you know, I'm an atheist, as much of an atheist as they come. But this idea of rebirth isn't all that stupid. Yeah, you're not going to get crucified. But if you're not reborn as a human, as an adult, you're just a big baby. Literally a big baby. You are a collection of the habits, behaviors you've developed as a kid to please adults and to secure little bits of like candy and this and that, and to avoid fights or to get into fights. And if you don't have a conscious control over those things, and if you don't become like a risk-taking adult and you become a compassionate adult, and if you don't change and you don't have this real kind of like sense of loss, the fear of loss that you're going to give up a part of yourself, you're not going to grow as a human being. You're not going to reach the transformation. And it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it because if I have to explain it to you, then you have a little bit more soul searching to do. Anyway, I'm off to ride before it gets dark and spooky, so take care, have a good one, and don't forget the 3 I's principle. Identify, implement, iterate.